Kenyatta International Conference Centre has officially been handed over to the TICAD Secretariat ahead of the conference, which will be held next weekend. The TICAD 6 conference will be held from the 27th to the 28th of August. Earlier, Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs Amina Mohammed and her tourism counterpart Najib Balala addressed the media on preparations for the conference. Laban CLiff Onserio now joins us from KICC and the surrounding areas for more on the TICAD 6 preparations. Laban.
Yes, indeed, Mark. As I told you earlier, yes, we are coming to you live from the Kenyatta International Conference Centre, where this is actually officially been handed over. Now, actually, this is TICAD 6 premises. As you can see behind me, of course, there are lots of activities going on. And earlier I mentioned to you that there's also security that has been beefed up in and around KICC, as we're just getting now updates that actually the police also just today, they managed to track 4 16-year-old boys who are actually found with a makeshift pistol. They're currently being held at the KICC police station. That's just an indication of how much the police are really taking it seriously on matters to do with security. Of course, we'll get more updates on that. The boys claim that they're actually in Nairobi for a music festival, but OCS, according to OCS Rioba, he says that actually they're used to such kind of characters around this region, especially seeing that they're just adjacent to the Uhuru Park Gardens where the boys were actually trained from. Well, aside from that, and aside from all the security briefings, there's still a lot of preparations that are taking place. Just about 5 days before the event starts. As you very well know, Saturday and Sunday will be actually the highlight of the day, 28th and 29th. But before that, we'll be having side events before the main event takes place during that time. Now, as I said again, yes, this is just part of the tent. As you can see, and my cameraman Eric Center is zooming in. There are lots of course, workers attending to this. This is more like a 30 by 30 tent, as they say. This is of course part of the venue that will be hosting the delegates will be here, because remember there will be a lot of side events that will be taking place. Now note that this is actually in a week before the start, and what we're meant to understand is that the head of state will actually be visiting this place to ensure that preparations are actually going on as expected. The noise you can hear actually is of the grinders, of course, with workers racing against time to just make sure that this event takes place, of course, as expected. Earlier, of course, we also spoke to the Cabinet Secretary of Tourism, who officially handed over KICC to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and CS Amina Mohammed also confirmed that, of course, they're ready and willing to host it, saying that Kenya has actually, shown that it had actually handled the magnitude of such guests coming in from WTO, UNCTAD, and now TICAD 6. But I'd hate to be an expert in this, because we're now joined by none other than the event organizer himself. That's Dr. Isaac Kalua, who actually understands the background onto it, and of course how much it took to bring the event to this place. Thank you for speaking with us, Secretary. I just want to start from the point of, let's look at first of all, the doing business between Tokyo and Kenya. We're saying that this is for the first time that, this conference is taking place in Africa. One wonders, a conference on African development, what took it so long to actually be held in Africa?
Let me first of all say that the starting point, and a fair one, is to congratulate the team that has been doing this work. The team led by the CS Amina and the PS Monica Juma and many other people, the steering committee led by Ambassador Gutu, the team that actually put everything together so that it presents and gives confidence to Japan that Kenya is capable of hosting this event is magnificent. The Minister Balala and the tourism sector that has been able to put these things together, I think they need a pat, and even more than a pat on their back, because they have presented Kenya, and this also presents to the world that Kenya is the place to be. Security is being dealt with, just like you have seen, and there is confidence, investor confidence. Of course, the question that you ask is very valid. Now, I have dealt with the Japanese for many years, and particularly in my business life, entrepreneurship, and I have found since 1990, when I started working with them, you can easily define the world, the people in the world, into two. There is the Japanese and everybody else, as simple as that. And these people work differently. They are wired differently. They do what they say, and they say what they do. It's as simple as that, and their word is their bond. And therefore, also that takes time to trust and to believe that they can come out somewhere and get people. And it means that a lot of investment has been put in place. There is now confidence. Of course, Africa is the direction that everybody is looking at the world. Therefore, they believe that this is the place to be. The human capital and everything else that puts Kenya to its position in the atlas is unmatched. And therefore, I believe it's time, the investment that needed, the Japanese, the way they are wired, they take time to prepare. And once they are ready, then they take off. And I believe this is just what has happened. And that is why it never came to Africa or any other country since 1993.
Of course, today we're just highlighting a bit of the gains we make as a country, which is more the MICE, that's meeting and conference tourism. But from where you sit, as you mentioned, as you're doing business with the Japanese, what would you say are some of the other key sectors that are expected to benefit from this TICAD 6?
I think quite a lot of sectors. You know, Japanese and the Japanese government and the country at large is an SME country. Japan is not made up of the Toyotas or the very big institutions. It is the small economies that build up and are supplied with a lot of activities. So there is a lot in the technical industry. There is a lot in the trading sector. There is a lot in so many, including tourism. Not so many of them have been coming in larger numbers than they will come at this time. And that is why Kenya Investment Authority is really putting a lot of efforts and all the other institutions to ensure that this happens. I think it's one of the greatest opportunities that not only Kenya but Africa, because this is not just a Kenyan event. All 54 countries have an opportunity to host this event for the first time ever.
Lastly, before I let you go, Lecturer, of course, as you can see, of course, there are lots of fundis working here, small scale, and looking at the opportunities of employment that is actually created. I just want to look at, somebody watching this and they're sitting back at home and they're wondering, yes, there are going to be all these 35 presidents coming in and there are lots of bars, roads closed, actually. How can, the Mama Mboga benefit, as you say?
Thank you very much. That's a very good way of looking at it. Let me tell you first the Mama Mboga. We have 4,000 people coming in as reported by the minister and the PS and the team. 4,000 Japanese people, another 6,000 local people from Africa, and therefore a total of 10,000 people for Mama Mboga. We have prepared a place together with the steering committee, which is going to be called the Maasai Village. And you see, most people will want to buy the artifacts. They want to know a lot about Kenya, and there is an area secluded specifically for that. There is an area where you are now looking at will be 100 plus different exhibitors of top over 100 countries, companies from Africa, from Japan. Then we're going to have a business area for African countries where they are going to display activities. Then there's another big opportunity for the Biashara Center where you're going to have Kenyan companies exhibiting. And this is an opportunity for those that have not have not known about the opportunity to rush and get their booth through the Kenya Investment Authority and the organizing committee. It's tremendous opportunity that will be available, and B2B meetings that will be prepared for the same.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kalu, of course, and wish you a successful event. As you've rightfully heard from the event organizer himself, yes, there's a lot of activities to look forward to, side events. For you sitting at home, of course, you want to look at how you can exhibit. You're a small-scale businessman. I think KICC is a place to be in, and get in touch with the Kenya Investment Authority, of course, to look at and how can you set up and get yourself for TICAD 6 and, of course, benefit from this. As you rightfully mentioned, of course, earlier, there'll be a lot of activities taking place. Stay tuned to NTV. I'll be able to brief you also on some of the roads that will be closed, just looking at the event organizers that will be taking place, and also looking at some of the security measures that have been enhanced right here at the Kenyatta International Conference Centre. So a lot more to look forward to, Mark, as I said, and of course, I'll keep you updated with more as we are coming to you live from Kenyatta International Conference Centre. Mark, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Laban CLiff Onserio at the KICC. Understandably, this is a big deal. 10,000 delegates from around the world. So that is going to explain why there will be quite the inconvenience in terms of traffic. But business is going to be booming, hopefully.